Hello, cryptopreneurs. This is Meredith Lochran with Crypto Trader News, and this is Bull Sessions. President Donald Trump has signed the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act of 2019 that amends the U.S. Hong Kong Policy Act of 1992, despite the dire warnings and threats for severe consequences by China if the United States got involved. So as Hong Kong protesters who've been fighting for their rights over the last several months took to the streets waving the American flag and singing the national anthem on Thanksgiving Day, I've got a dollar that says China is pretty pissed. So now the world is watching, and they're wondering how this is going to affect negotiations between U.S. and China as far as trade and tariffs, especially during the holiday shopping season. Let's not forget that businesses are also trying to project their 2020 first quarter earnings based on what's happening now. Large corporations like Nike doing business with China is doing business with their government. We saw this when there was a media blackout when the NBA played some preseason games in China, and the blackout was because the Rockets general manager Daryl Morey tweeted support for the people of Hong Kong. So believe me, there are consequences. Let's be clear. Large corporations in China are beholden to the Chinese government. If they don't own you, they've stolen your intellectual property, and they're doing this in a bid to become an economic and technological superpower on the global stage. What does this have to do with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? Bitcoin and altcoins are necessary to serve the people, not big corporations, not oppressive government regimes. Why do you think there's such pushback against crypto from countries like China and Venezuela and Iran? It's because Bitcoin was fashioned to be a peer-to-peer economic vehicle to take government out of your pocket and give you greater control over your money and financial future. So China has Tencent, Alibaba, Jingdong, Huawei, and other critical technology that does business all over the world. China is developing improvements to their technology for things like their social credit system, facial recognition, and AI. Why? It's to keep their people in line and have an advantage of knowing what you're searching for, where you are, and how you shop. Now, with repression eventually comes rebellion or revolution. Cryptocurrency is doing that for money, so no matter how hard governments try to hold the people back, free thinkers will find a way to circumvent those restraints. Now, just a couple weeks ago, General Secretary Xi Jinping talked about the wonders of blockchain, and Bitcoin responded. The price went up, everyone was happy. Now, some will argue that China doesn't have that much power over Bitcoin, but I would argue that they have the most servers operating the Bitcoin network. So it seems to go hand in hand, okay? And then I shared a copy of their official statement with regards to cryptocurrency and crypto exchanges, and the news wasn't good. Exchanges are shutting down for fear of government reprisals, as evidenced by a recent raid on the Binance office in Shanghai. In our fireside chat, Tony, Matt, and I talked about the longevity of Bitcoin. I personally think it's going to be around for decades, and I think it's going to increase in value as it's done over the last decade. We are in volatile times, but there's an unbreakable will to be free of government restrictions. They can try to repress their people, but the human race is a rebellious one. So where there's a will, there's a way.